Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerTube, and welcome back to our Xenomaly character concept series. So in today's video, the character looking into is the Shark. So we'll go into this character's backstory, gameplay mechanics and all that good stuff as well. But before doing any of that, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. It also keeps you up to date with all the videos that we post. As always at the beginning of these videos, I'd like to state that this isn't linked to the overall universe and lore of Xenomaly. This is just a fun fan character and we hope you enjoy. Alrighty, well with that all out of the way, let's get into the character concept of the Shark. So previously in our Xenomaly character concept series, we've been looking into the second zoo that has been affected by the Bloom Order. Yet another zoo's animals have morphed into evil and dangerous creatures. And it's been up to the recruit to once again investigate the affected park and return it back to its original state. It seems that someone has activated another Bloom machine and it needs to be shut off immediately. This time around, instead of collecting key shards to open the door, the player has been scanning special codes. When they scan enough codes, the electronic lock to the underground facility will finally open up. But this hasn't been an easy task. Each of these codes is guarded by a terrible Bloom animal. The animals we've met so far have been the snake, the rhino, the crocodile, and the wolves. Each enemy has proven to be quite the challenging foe, and each time the player has had to figure out how to beat them and scan these special codes. But now, this time they face one of the most difficult challenges at the zoo. This new enemy will have them out of their element and trying to figure out their next move. And if they can't figure it out quick enough, then it'll all be over. So the next area that the player approaches is the aquarium. This large area is filled with water as one would assume. But this large mass of water that's trapped behind solid glass houses a terrible creature. It lurks within the depths waiting for its next prey, and soon enough that prey would waltz right into its domain. And eventually this creature would find its next meal. So the next Bloom creature we'll be looking at is known as the Shark. This shark is a truly terrifying predator. With rows of sharp, deadly teeth and natural swimming abilities, it'll truly make for a difficult enemy. The shark weighs about 600 kilos or about 1300 pounds, and this creature measures up to about 14 feet long. A strange feature about this shark is its multiple limbs. This creature seems to have sprouted, unique looking arms and legs. Whether or not this creature can use these limbs out of the water is unknown. But it's been recorded using these limbs to swim through the water much faster and grab onto their prey. And once it has a hold of its prey, there was no letting go. But the most strange detail of all was the large fishing hook that was embedded in its body. It seems like someone has tried to catch this creature before, but in the end, the shark proved far too strong. It must have dragged the fishermen into the tank and taken care of them. But now, with the large hook stuck in its body, it has become much more aggressive and agitated. Just the sight of another person would surely send the shark into a ferocious frenzy, and this being the case, the player needs to stay on their guard. So once the players enter the aquarium, they are immediately surrounded by the deep blue water. On all sides, the mysterious water stares at them from behind the glass. The player doesn't want to know what lurks in this deep water. They need to hurry up and quickly find the codes in this area. So that's exactly what they do. Their first task has them navigating through the underground tunnels in search of the first code. This maze of tunnels proves to be quite confusing. The player needs to keep track of where they're going or else they'll be all turned around. Whilst making their way through these tunnels, they can feel a strong presence staring at them from behind the water. This shouldn't be a problem since whatever it is should be behind the glass. But something tells them that they'll need to get closer to this mystery creature before they know it. Eventually, after navigating through the tunnels, the player finds the first code. They quickly scan it and continue on to the next one. It seems that the next code is upstairs on the next level. Just their luck, this next code would be right above the tank itself. As they walk back out into the open area, that's when they see it. The shark is staring at them from behind the glass. It's just floating there in the water with its eyes locked onto the player. Wherever the player moves, its eyes would follow. It seems like this creature wasn't going to let them out of its sights. The player needs to be careful around this creepy shark. If they slip up at any time, they'll surely be its next prey. So the player makes their way up to the surface level of the tank. It seems they need to traverse a number of moving platforms in order to scan the next code, but they'll need to be careful where they step. If they miss any of the platforms, then the shark will be waiting immediately to snap them up in its jaws. So the player leaps from platform to platform. They're being very careful to avoid the shark whenever it tries to grab them from underneath the water. They would need to be patient and wait for the right time to make their jump. Eventually, after jumping from platform to platform, they reach the final code. They quickly scan it and then try to make their way out of here. But as they make it to their next platform, the shark knocks them into the water. The player falls in and now they are in grave danger. Now it's only the shark and the player inside this tank. They need to swim out of here before they are eaten whole. They can't use their weapons underneath the water or else they'll take damage as well. So whenever they see the shark, they would need to swim out of its attack path. If they narrowly dodge its attacks, they should be fine. They're almost out of the tank. They just need to swim a little further. Up ahead is a grapple system that can grab onto them and hoist them out of the tank. Just a little closer and they would be out of this dangerous water. Eventually they grab onto it and hoist themselves out of the tank. But just at the last second, the shark leaps out of the tank as well. This terrible creature is now on dry land, but before it can attack the player, they quickly activate the grapple. It lowers down and grabs onto the hook protruding out of the shark's body. It hoists up the shark and leaves it dangling in mid-air. Now the shark is neither in water or on dry land. Whilst in this state, it can't attack anyone. So now the player is free to go and move on to the next code. But they'll need to be careful as there's many more creatures that stand in their way. And as they say, there's always a bigger fish out there. As they continue their journey, they have no idea what's ahead of them. But the mission is as it always was. Turn off the blue machine and send these creatures back to where they came from. But if they'll be able to complete this mission is another story. And until then, we'll just have to wait and see. So I think that the shark would be another great addition to our Zoonomaly cast of characters. I think they offer an interesting challenge for the player and also would leave them out of their element. Being in the deep dark water of the tank would surely put them in a panic, but it would be up to the player to use their wits and keep calm, because it would be up to them if they sink or swim. Alrighty everyone, well that's all we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing, as it helps a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, let me know what you thought of the character of the shark and what you'd like to see going forward. Alrighty everyone, well on to our next Zoonomaly character concept video. I'll catch you later, bye.